Our culture idolizes candy companies and their products, which are directly linked to some of our most positive memories and life events. But when you take a closer look, today's confectionery industry isn't all Peeps and Skittles. When it comes to our well-being, confections seem to be hurting rather than helping us. Notorious for including copious amounts of sugars, fats, additives, and dyes, our favorite treats are causing serious negative health effects such as diabetes, fatty liver disease, and even cancer. In addition to affecting human health and behaviors, the confectionery industry also has an impact on the communities they operate in. In regions like West Africa that depend on the market of cash crops like cocoa and coffee beans to uphold their economies, candy companies' supply chains often include child and slave labor to cut costs. And because it's difficult to monitor or enforce safe working conditions in faraway countries, many efforts to clean up supply chains like certifications and fair trade labels cannot always be verified. Our environment is also being affected. Pressure on natural resources is growing, and decreased biodiversity and unsustainable farming practices erode soil and result in salinity. In light of these negative impacts, we must begin to ask ourselves if a short burst of pleasure is worth the degeneration of our health, communities, and environment. For many of us, it's hard to imagine life without sweets, but what if a product that is just as tasty could regenerate the well-being of society and the environment instead of degenerate it? In an attempt to undesign industrial confectionery systems and return to traditional methods of food and land cultivation, we created ReArk, a new brand of confection that regenerates human and environmental well-being. The idea is for large confectionaries to purchase, fund, or create local regenerative food ecosystems called food forests that produce the ingredients for the ReArk brand. These forests are agricultural systems that mimic a woodland ecosystem using edible plants. Fruit and nut trees make up the canopy, while berry shrubs, edible perennials, and annuals make up the understory. A 4-year-old food forest yields around 200 kilograms of food annually, and they become richer and more abundant as they grow. Our food forests are run and maintained by local workers and community members. The community-oriented and local supply chain is key, as it ensures that we maintain a direct link to farmers, making it easier to track working conditions and ensure fair pay. When ReArk ingredients are in season, they're harvested and processed at in-house or partnering confectionaries, who may use the yield to create new and unique ReArk products. Our treats are later sold and distributed locally from our forests or wherever candy is sold in the area. We spoke directly with community members and food forest practitioners and imagined products for 2 different food forest climates, cultures, and yields, Pennsylvania and Bafut, Cameroon. With their inputs, we decided to prototype a ReArk bar using locally sourced ingredients inspired by the yields that our Philadelphia food forest could provide in what's called the humid continental climate. The Philly Fall ReArk bar recipe includes a bottom layer of black walnut and American persimmon molasses topped with caramelized plums or pawpaws, which have a flavor of mild banana and mango, and a top layer of hazelnut butter. In contrast, Cameroon is characterized as humid and equatorial, with several wet regions, and is also more spiritually connected to the land. Taking inspiration from traditional Cameroonian dishes, we imagined that our Bafut June bar would include layers of chocolate, mango, guava, and ginger. With this project, rather than develop a solution to existing issues resulting from the current confectionery industry, our goal was to take a more systemic approach that dissolves those problems and stops them from arising in the first place. We envision a possible future where this system is translated and reproduced in all corners of the world, adjusting to different communities and climates, and producing signature flavors that reflect the region and its people. However, for this to work in a regenerative way, we must build a robust network of farmers, confectionaries, and community members, and consider things like how to package our products sustainably and how we can set up microfactories to produce products in an ethical way. With this project, we call for confectionaries who are serious about increasing human and environmental well-being to invest in a regenerative and resilient ecosystem where every plant and tree has a use and a story.